defender Brent Sancho.
Anthony Noriega, former national talent, will have come from there. The new crop, though, relatively unknown, Keith Robertson will certainly be one to keep your eyes on. Kellen Williams as well. Cameron Wiley has some potential in there. And Julian Roberts, a former Pleasantville player and Star Wars Strikers midfielder, will be on the bench as coach. So two coaches who would have played together as club mates. Well, they're battling it out today as enemies on the field as Pleasantville get set to take on East Mucurapo. Well, Timothy Derry gives the signal, and it's all to play for here at Trinity College Mocha. Pleasantville secondary just one win in their last 11 matches. East Mucurapo, they picked up 4. And both teams in search of those valuable 3 points. Well, Prince Sancho is alongside me as mentioned. And what about the keys to the game for this match? Of course, points will be on the line for both teams, but individually, what would each team be looking for?
I think from East Mucurapo perspective, we've seen them right here on our cameras against Fatima College and of course against Queen's Royal College as well. And one thing you identify with them, there's no doubt about the ability within the team, but there are moments of lack of discipline, tactical discipline and otherwise, and even individual discipline. We saw against Fatima College a red card, of course, that completely changed the complex of the game. And so it's so important for them to maintain that discipline as they have an early chance there off the head. Oh, that's a goal.
Well, early goal as well. East Mucurapo. No discipline needed, just good technique. And the good technique was provided by that man. It's 1-0.
That's a good finish there. I think once the ball rebounded and come out there for Newton, there was only one thing on his mind really, wasn't there? And that was to hit the ball. Of course, the initial header blocked. That's good technique. He got his laces. How many times, James, we've seen that sort of situation? The ball balloons over the bar. He got over it. Good technique, laces all the way through. And of course, got that on target. That's a very, very good early strike there by Taylor, who made absolutely no mistake. And we're just going through the keys of the game. I didn't even get to Pleasantville, James, and I was about to say to make sure they don't concede early. And I'll have to take that back because that's now gone.
Well, they can look to get on the tab early on as well, but that one comes to naught. Trickles away to the goalkeeper. Oh, what a way to have your cage rattled. Early goal by Taylor. Puts East Mucurapo in the ascendancy. How does that change the complexion of the match, you feel?
Greatly, it does. Because everything you've said coming into this, and as I was about to mention about not conceding early, has gone out the window. But I was happy. And of course, one of the things mentioned by the coach was, of course, there were certain attributes needed. And one of those is believing in themselves. And Pleasantville certainly have to, because now that task of staying in the league has just become a little bit more difficult.
Well, you can make something happen here, Jarvis. Played out wide to the goal scorer. But it's heavily marshaled here. And eventually that one is booted to safety. About these teams, of course, coached by former past pupils, Dale Saunders, former Mucurapo pupil, and a former Star Wars Strikers man. In fact, both of these teams coaches would have played together, both past pupils and club teammates as well at one time.
There's also a teammate of mine in the national program. Certainly part and parcel of the Bertha Sinclair-led Soca Warriors. He did form a formidable midfield with the likes of Travis Marine, of course Angus Eve, who went to this school as well, and Tony Roche, to name a few. Might be diminutive in size, of course, Dale Saunders, but from a national team perspective, he certainly his bark and bite were different.
Oh, this one could be in yet again. Jarvis has already scored 3 this season. Have to work hard to get back in a position. Strong space now, Jarvis. Looking at options. Well, dancing feet from Jarvis, but he can't get past his man in the end. He'll recycle possession. This time, Henry would give away a throw. Talk about being the teacher's pet. That man Jarvis, one of the top choices by his coach Dale Saunders, certainly believes in his ability. He's already scored 3 for him this season. Well, how will he deal with the bouncing ball? Pleasantville could be in, but the goalkeeper is quicker. And Alexander takes a tumble, but he won't mind because he holds on to it. And the referee's whistle indicates that he was fouled.
Yeah, the goalkeeper always seemingly first to this one. I'm not sure why Gray continued with his run. Ran straight into the goalkeeper, but initial mistake there by the defender. Looks like Henry at the back.
Well, he's done well to get past his man. And has he been fouled? Well, the Ainsley Rochard on the far side doesn't seem to think so. It's a goal kick.
Well, it must be mentioned, James, that it's a very tight pitch in terms of size and width. And of course length. It's certainly arguably one of the smaller pitches we've seen so far this season. Of course, we've also been up to Book Malatris, which is a very tight facility as well. So don't be surprised if you're looking at this game and you've seen a lot of players crashing into each other, because there's not a lot of room out there, and it will certainly favor the ones with the fleet-footedness and ability and craft to get out of tight areas. And so far Mucurapo has shown that. Of course, that man Jarvis showing early on that he has the capabilities of doing. Here comes Mucurapo again.
Oh, he's found space now. Can he open the door? He's got in behind. Jarvis is there, but he runs out of real estate in the end. Certainly the target, Jarvis. Always seem to look for him every time they are in possession. Well, he's done well to keep that alive for the men in maroon. Jarvis has made a run in behind here. Can he find space at the back door? Well, good defending. It's off the Pleasantville player. Finally, they get it away. Here's Al Khalifa Henry. McShine. Starting to pick passes together. Here's the goal scorer, Taylor. Couldn't find a way in behind, but can they win the second ball? Oh, here's Pleasantville secondary. Need good decisions here. And almost found one with the run in behind from that man. Jarvis. Well, he's lost his man, hasn't he? He's found space here now, and has he been taken down? He has. The question is, where exactly? Timothy Jarvis, well, hasn't pointed to the spot. Might just have been outside the area. But a tight call.
Yeah, tight call. Jarvis again showing his clever footwork. Getting past his defender there, Prokop. And eventually brought his man down with a late challenge in a dangerous position. Good skill again there by Jarvis.
Well, certainly has his eyes on proceedings. Who's got the better vision? Tell you what, Jarvis certainly would have eyes for goal. Taylor might be eyeing a second as well. No, he's going for goal now, hasn't he? The goalkeeper, well, hasn't done too badly. And this time it gets past him. That's goal number 2 for East Mucurapo. Well, he can kiss his badge and celebrate, because early like that, Parks have given them a second item.
Yeah, and it's a combination of poor defending and poor goalkeeping. Clark with the original save has not necessarily a lot of power. Tried to parry it over the bar. Look at that, everyone standing around. Easily eased out of the way, Wiley. And then that man there, Parks, muscling his way through and then stabs it past. Of course, the goalkeeper, Clark, who was stranded on his line. It's really a combination of errors that has let down Pleasantville. And now it's 2-0.
2 goals inside the opening 10 minutes, and well, it's fair to say that certainly under the cush at the moment. Here comes Compry yet again. This one too long for Jarvis. Wow, certainly putting on a show, isn't he? Well, spotted the Red Sea as well. Look at him go. Yeah, Jarvis, and this time he's taken down, and that will be a penalty. Well, he was dancing with the stars, and he got his just reward.
Yeah, look at this for trickery. Inside, outside, good showing ability. Cuts back inside here. Last defender for dead. And then that man there, Roberts, upended Jarvis, pleading his innocence. But it's not heard. It's fallen on deaf ears. That's good work there by Jarvis, direct, precise in his dribbling ability. And now his team has a penalty kick.
An opportunity to put the game well out of sight in the opening few minutes. What a start for the boys from Mucurapo. And at the moment, it's Atiba that can't put them out of sight. And he does. Atiba Kadir, the 3rd goal scorer for Mucurapo, putting them well and truly out of sight, and disappointing afternoon was work for the goalkeeper so far. His side down under the cush, 3-0.
Yeah, simple as you like. Tilts to his left, uses the inside of his foot and tucks it in to the right side of the goal post. Goalkeeper Clark did move. Look at this, a good technique. Guides it in there. And that's a good finish there. Might say that's game, set and match. What is Pleasantville made of?
I'll tell you what, the boys team for Pleasantville, they've struggled this season. Well, the girls, it's been a different story. They've scored over 20 goals in their last 2 matches. 25 in their very last fixture. Dominating the South Zone at the moment. The likes of Alexia Ali, national striker, would have come from that year. And well, Pleasantville almost in, Mucurapo for that matter, almost in with another one in behind. What's saying though that the likes of Alexia Ali would have come to the ranks.
One straight ball over the top. And almost inside there. Kamali Henry, the recipient. They've played a high and flat back line, Pleasantville, and it certainly has not been to their benefits because they're constantly being picked apart. And they need to find somehow to get a bit more organization. The midfield certainly is not helping them because the East Mucurapo players are finding time and space to pick passes, which is remarkable really in this tight ground. And again, fancy football. Look at that.
Oh, so close to
scored
a 4th. Knows he should have done better.
Yeah, just lacked a bit of conviction there and belief because he just prodded his head when it really needed a full-fledged effort. Maybe even a diving header would have seen Jarvis on the score sheet. But it's all East Mucurapo now.
Kamali Henry. Taylor did score the opening goal of the match. Got some support. Shine. Atiba. They're certainly ticking off all the boxes now, East Mucurapo. Finding rhythm. Finding space as well. Nobody there in the end. Oh, might have had his legs taken out from underneath him, but the referee allows please to continue. And Atiba will try to tread the needle. Goalkeeper is quick this time and successful.
Yeah, and he had to be because he made the call very early and he left himself with no room for error. He did need it because he did well.
Bit of fortune and the team in red, well, they cough back up possession. Certainly have found it difficult in the early exchanges, keeping up with the physicality of East Mucurapo, the Pleasantville players.
Yeah, and the pace of the game as well. They've not really been allowed to set themselves up the way they want to defensively. It looks like they're constantly scrambling. Of course, the new coach, Julian Roberts, well, credit to him, the only win that they have this season came under his tutelage. And
against Chaguanas.
Yeah, against Chaguanas. But it's a difficult task, and you have to feel for him because he's trying to pick up a team, James, that has conceded quite a lot of goals so far this season. To be exact, 52, and they have still to play Inform St. Benedict's as that shot came in. Presentation, of course, two high-flying teams, and they have a game against Bishops, a team in and around them. But again, as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, it's not necessarily about them alone winning all their games, but they will also need fixtures to go their way. Trinity College East closest to them on 11 points, and they would need Trinity College East to have a breakdown of epic proportions for them to have a chance to stay in this division.
The thing at Pleasantville is that our school that have produced quite a number of players in the South Zone. For some reason, though, they haven't managed to hold on to players for very long. You think of during the era of the Noriega brothers, Dean Logan and company, part of a very talented, probably golden era of Pleasantville footballers, for losing them out to the more illustrious Princestown secondary, where they went on to win an intercol title. Then you think of Leonson Lewis, who eventually went on to Naparima College as well.
Of course, Kevin Oliveri, who had a stalwart of a season in the league side of things. They've always been a very plucky outfit in the South Zone in the old format of secondary schools football, but seemingly when they come up to this new format, and particularly the Premiership, they've struggled. And you rightfully say, you would think that some of it is down to the fact that they just can't hold on to the kids that have brought success for them. This could be trouble.
Well, Parks is in, looking for a second, and that's a good save. Well, might get a second bite here. The goalkeeper was brave and, well, successful with the saved attempt in the end.
Yeah, another line-breaking run from the East Mucurapo midfield. This time it's Parks. Was always first to that one. He decided to take it early with the left foot, a difficult skill. Nevertheless, got it on target. Good save by Clark, and he was brave in coming out. I think if Clark had put a little bit more thought in that, he may have found himself in a 1v1 situation with goalkeeper Clark. Instead, he went with the rushed approach and eventually flicked it outside.
Oh, they're certainly living dangerously. Pleasantville secondary. Well, they huff and puff yet again, Mucurapo. Might have been bodied out of possession. Could fall kindly for Pleasantville. Well, here's Atiba. He's looking for Jarvis. Jarvis has been dangerous all game, but this time he has it picked from him. Still kept alive here. Atiba just running into a red light. Oh, this could be interesting. Good defending in the end from Kamali Henry. Tracked his man really well. Here's McShine to Kadira Tiba. Al Khalifa Henry. Jarvis. Picked the lock quite easily there. Jarvis is going on a solo pilgrimage. And he's gotten his success in the end. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. And that is goal number 4. Parks getting his second.
And that's good patient build-up football by East Mucurapo. It's getting a bit easy for them now. And again, that comes, of course, of Jarvis setting Henry forward, and he did the right thing. He powered his way to the line and put it across with Parks with the easiest of task to tap it into the empty net, really. Clark was caught on the other side of the goal. And Parks up front because he's finding himself in a lot of goal-scoring opportunities listed here as a midfielder, but he spent a lot of his time up front so far. And why not? Goals are on a giveaway.
Well, a win for East Mucurapo will put them on 17 points. Still 2 points behind Arima North, who will be in action today as well. Pleasantville will be as they were, just 4 points from a win and one solitary draw. And it keeps them well within the relegation zone. Bishop's High just below them on 3. Chaguanas North as well, also in action today. They're so though. Bishops and Chaguanas North will be playing top of the table teams. Fatima College, who Bishop will line up against. Well, Chaguanas North, Arima North. Well, that danced a bit and did well to keep it out in the end. It's a corner. Don't forget, you can catch all the action on the SportsMax app. You can download it from the Apple and Google Play Store. And you can catch all the action in the Secondary Schools Football League, as well as the ESA High School Football League as well. Download the SportsMax app today. Just moved inside 21 minutes. East Mucurapo leading by 4 goals to 0 against Pleasantville. Well, had to be careful, and almost self-inflicted wounds there by Pleasantville. Fortunate to escape with a goal kick. Well, it's turned into traffic, and well, it's fortunate to hear the referee's whistle. It's Jelani Roberts. It's well intercepted. He will try again. This time with a bit more luck to Pascal. Well, can they get in here? No foul, says the referee.
I tell you what, James, I just wondered for a second there, because it was a bit clumsy. Found a lot of contact and a little of ball. But of course, got the benefit of the doubt with that decision. It's the last thing they want, East Mucurapo. If it's all been smooth sailing so far, they don't want to commit anything silly.
Well, they've stolen possession. Boys in maroon. It's one back though by Pleasantville. Oh, that's clever. Could be in here. Needs a good shot. And couldn't beat the last man in the end. Was promising. That's the best opportunity they've had. Crafted by Kellen Williams. Oh, he wants it moved faster. Deal Saunders. Here's instructions clear. The opposite end of the field. Oh, it's been a tough day for them.
Yeah, and a lot of it is down to some of the individual errors, lapse in concentration, and it's really been down to their own design. And it's unfortunate, as I said, Coach Julian Roberts would have given him a good talking to coming into this one, and to concede that early in the game, James, and of course not yet to 25 minutes left, gone in the game, sorry, but there's still, of course, 4 goals done.
Oh, time to take a break for the boys. 30 degrees on the thermometer, Brent. And, well, one team would be happier than the other to have a break. Now let's look back at some of the stuff that would have taken place early in this game.
Yeah, and a lot of it is down to Pleasantville old design. Poor defending here. And of course, Parks muscling his way in and probes it past Clark, and of course kissing the badge. That was goal number 2. It's a good finish there by him. And of course, good work again there by Jarvis. Upended eventually there. Again. Of course, that one going into the back of the net for goal number 3. Our apologies, as we did not show the first goal. And then Jarvis again, the provider. This one a good team goal from East Mucurapo. And that man Parks is as far forward as you'd find any midfielder in world football enjoying the fruits of the spoil. Mucurapo 4 goals up. And you'd have to say, James, it's all she wrote possibly for Pleasantville as we take a look at the stats. And it's really been one-way traffic, and that suggests that 69% possession for East Mucurapo. But look at the pass completion by Pleasantville, 20%. That is really a good snapshot as to why this game is 4-0, and we're still not 30 minutes into it.
Oh, it's touch a bit heavy, but he might still be able to keep it alive. Patient and build up the men from Compre. Malachi Henry. Henry. Shine finds Al Khalifa Henry. One of 3 Henrys on the field for East Mucurapo. Oh, here's Jarvis. Always lights up when he's in charge, but this time doesn't complete the mission. It's a goal kick. It's more than half of the first half already gone. Pleasantville secondary perhaps wishing had one of those men in black devices. They don't want to forget that first opening few minutes. How do they respond?
I think first and foremost they have to find a way to get themselves a little bit more organized. Certainly they've looked very easy to pluck apart. And it's not necessarily down to the coach's instruction. I think it's more to do with individual indiscipline. They're not marking on the right side of the opponent, and they're leaving some of their tasks undone. And although they've shown a lot of endeavor and application, James, it's still not good enough because they're conceding too easily. I think that's the first port of call, to make sure that they stop the bleeding. And I think from there on in, they have to find a way to possess the football.
Oh, they won't possess it like that. However, they do get a gift. Jaheim Phillip. Keith Robinson managing to keep it now, the boys in red. And, well, commentators curse. Well, they do get another gift as Mucurapo gets sloppy. And this will go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Shine does get a second bite, and this time he gets it forward to Jarvis. Well, look at this. Gets the door open, and he's walked right in. That is goal number 5. And the floodgates, well, it's a waterfall at the moment.
Well, I talked about the tactical indiscipline. A runner from the midfield strides his way past, breaking lines. No one tracking him. Certainly no one from the midfield department of Pleasantville. Look at this. He just runs on in all on his own. No one there to assist him. Eventually cuts inside. Poor defending again. Not standing his man up. But take nothing away from Kamali Henry. His skill right here. Cuts inside. Defender couldn't tackle because it was in the box. Eventually, a bit of a deflection and the ball is in the net. Again, another goal. Yes, East Mucurapo, but certainly another situation of self-design and inflicted on your own.
Should be goalkeeper's ball. Certainly being allowed space to build up. Yes, Henry. Khalifa Henry. Couldn't get past his man, but maybe Jarvis can from distance. And he's held on to that one. Still feel tension every time Jarvis is anywhere within shooting range. Oh, at least somebody took our suggestion. Of course, viewing via the SportsMax app. You can download it today on Google Play and the Apple Store. And be like that guy. Catch football action anywhere you go, on the move. Downloading the SportsMax app. Must say hello as well to all of the folks viewing via the SportsMax YouTube page. Always vociferous conversation there. Oh, boys in red need some fluidity. Perhaps a bit of luck.
Yeah, and you feel for Coach, of course, Coach Roberts coming in new to the fray. And one of the things as a new coach when you come in, of course, when you come in as a new coach, you want to change things and make sure that you're rigid and solid defensively. And at the end of the day, James, when you concede like that, no matter how he sets them up, if they're not tracking runners, if they're not strong in the challenge, if they're not right in their decision-making defensively, and again, allowing this sort of space, there's not much Coach Roberts can do. He's always going to have those challenges.
Well, he's kept it alive. It's Khalif Atiba.
Yeah, man. I'm interested in that.
Malachi Henry to Al Khalifa Henry. Jarvis. Oh, it's quick feed from Al Khalifa Henry. Tic-tac-toe at the moment. Malachi Henry. Al Khalifa Henry has found space here.
Yeah, that's just too easy.
And well, he stopped that one.
Yeah, it's too easy, James. It really is too easy. It's players are walking around and it's just not doing enough. Again, another chance here. This time, Al Khalifa Henry. Look at that. One touch and he's into the 18-yard box and having a go at Clark, who does make a good save with his feet. But they have to find this all the space in the world.
Well, certainly he'd be lost for words on how he didn't put that into the back of the net.
Again, another easy opportunity. Let's have another look. Ball rolls across the goal. You'd think with 3 red shirts around, they would deal with that, and they don't. And you think at the table with 52 goals against, James, I think we are getting a picture of why. As I said, no matter what the coach comes in and prescribes to the players, at the end of the day, the players have to execute, and certainly they're found wanted in the execution and the things.
Well, Pleasantville to keep possession. Well, flag has gone up and luck has run out in that bit of an attack. There's Al Khalifa Henry. He's been finding lots of joy out on the left side. So too this man, Jarvis. It's Henry. It's a good touch there. Well, Parks with yet another one. That's his hat-trick. And 3 is a special number for the number 5 for East Mucurapo, as they punk 6 past them.
Yeah, again, poor defending. Waltz's pass, the first man, didn't deal with it on the line, and Parks, with the simplest of tasks, he must have been a surprise man, James, because somehow that ball evaded Clark and, of course, Phillip to find this man, Parks, to put it into the back of the net. Probably one of the easiest hat-tricks he would ever score. Nevertheless, he's been there to do it. And East Mucurapo is romping away with this one.
Well, they do need to consolidate at the moment. Horse is certainly bolted from the stable. His first hat-trick scored for a player from East Mucurapo, Parks. He's already surpassed Jarvis, who was among their leading goal scorers at 3 goals in one match. They look hungry. They want more. Latiba's found Al Khalifa Henry again. Has been the architect of so many chances. Maybe another one could be in tow. This one is hoofed away. It's just been too easy for East Mucurapo. Roberts must find solutions.
And I think when you look at this screen, this picture right here, you're looking at least 11 red shirts in their area, in their defensive side of the ball, middle and defensive third, and they're still, James, giving up easy opportunities and chances. And a lot of it comes down to individual responsibilities, which they're not taking ownership of. Simple to close the player down, mark, stay with your runners. They're just not doing that. Look how easy this is. Clipped in. And still, no one is doing the stuff that is needed to keep the ball out to the back of the net.
Oh, that will be a throw for East Mucurapo. Certainly been a baptism of fire this season for boys from South Pleasantville. School that has produced good individual players. The Bacchus brothers of the early 2000s, the Noriega brothers, Team Logan as well. Juana Johnson players who've played at some of the highest levels, both here and abroad. The recent seasons in the men's division, where they've struggled to replicate and find those gems as they have in the past. Jamal Edwards, another player come from this college. Is it just a matter of a cycle of life, or are certain teams falling behind, you think?
Yeah, I've always said that, of course, it's really comes down to the have and the have-nots. And when you look at the correlation between successful football programs in the SSFL, you see a very strong alumni, a very strong school in support. And I'm not, of course, taking anything away from the likes of Pleasantville and East Mucurapo, but when you look at the Fatimas, Naparima, Presentation College, just to name a few, they have a very, very strong old boy association that provides the impetus for these school teams and make sure that the young men that are representing the schools have what they need to be able to do so. And when you look at the likes of Pleasantville and East Mucurapo, there's no doubt there's talent within the squad, but obviously football is more than just talent. There are other ingredients that is necessary to bake that cake. And Naparima, Fatima have been consistently good presentation because they have a lot of those ingredients.
Just wonder if we will have the likes of a Princess Tong Secondary, Arima, El Dorado, and the senior comprehensive schools who would have ruled the roost in the past. Are we likely to see another team like them arise out of the current bunch?
Well, I know for a fact, of course, James, because I went to Malik Senior Comprehensive, as it was called back then. They had a very strong community behind them. And Malik, when we played games, we had community, people in the community cooking, providing for the players, making sure that we were well equipped to play games. We didn't necessarily have a strong alumni, but we had a very strong community in Mova, in Malik, that provided for these players. You could say the same, of course, you could say the same for Shiva Boys when they were in the league. There was a strong community around them and those sorts of teams. But you're not seeing it presently with those setups. So you need that support base to be able to be successful. And these schools, the secondary, the comprehensive schools, if they have strong communities behind them, James, I do feel they can revisit the glory days that they had in the past.
Well, when you look at the current top 6 in the standings, just one senior comprehensive, San Juan, in the top 6.
But that's a community-based school that is heavily supported by their community. And when you go up to Book Malatris, you find that out very quickly. The people that live in that neighborhood, in that community, are very proud of their boys, and they make sure that they give them what is necessary for them to be successful. A perfect example, San Juan North, as you mentioned, James, within that top 6. So this is obviously us encouraging communities to get in and support your schools, because it's so important for these young men to have the non-tangibles in the sport to do well. Yes, there's talent, yes, there's ability, but you also need that support off the pitch to be able to obviously see success.
Well, won't find any support for that pass. We 1-1. We'll gift it back to Malachi Henry. Al Khalifa Henry. Shine. It's Al Khalifa Henry. He's got space ahead of him. These 3 of the East Mucurapo goals have come from his service. Well, not this time. Oh, he's being hassled and harried here. Atiba. And he's lost it. No whistle. It's back with the boys in maroon. And Jarvis couldn't find a way past the lanky defender. Both teams typically wear maroon as their primary color. Pleasantville today forced into the red outfit. And it's fair to see one maroon team dominating at the moment. 6 goals they've put in as we count down to the halftime whistle. We'll have a pause before that because there's a man down, play or 2. Kamali Henry, well, seems to be comfortable enough to get back on his feet. Oh, deserves a drink, doesn't he? And, well, I think not sure if that might hurt more than the scoreline at the moment.
Well, before this game, East Mucurapo really struggled to find the back of the net. Their biggest victory for the season is, of course, against Bishops, where they scored 4 goals to 1. Before that, it was against Chaguanas North. 2 teams, of course, quite low on the table. Outside of those results, they've never really, obliterated the scoring sheet. They've always stayed within. But you have to give them credit, James. They've not lost in their last 3 games. Of course, a 0-0 tie against Arima North, the most notable of those last 3 games. A team, Arima North, that has certainly caused a lot of the bigger teams some concern. Here comes Parks.
Well, he had goal number 4 in his sight. And, well, Jarvis could have added goal number 7. Well, going to line this up for McShine. Didn't have the power.
Yeah, and he was always moving away from the goal and stretching. And it's similar feet there. I think they all fancy their chances, James, against Clark, who's done well, despite the fact that he's been left, in most cases, unprotected. He somehow managed to either get his hand, legs, or both in stopping the ball.
It's only been 4 matches since Roberts has come in. Former past pupil himself here at Pleasantville. Did play professionally together with his twin brother. Star Wars Strikers being the most notable of the clubs that they represented. He's also a former national youth player as well. So does know a thing or two, but certainly lots of work to get this Pleasantville team ticking. Team that is formerly coached by Kyle Smalls, a former goalkeeper himself. You spoke about community support, Brent. What else is needed for teams, particularly at this Premier Division, to help them succeed? We'll talk about that at the halftime and after, because Timothy Derry has seen enough in the first 45. Well, East Mucurapo, they've done well. They've been able to get 6 past the opposition. For Pleasantville, the halftime talk might be a quite stern one. For him, might be a drive that he might have regret making today, because at the end of 45 minutes, it is East Mucurapo that have been dominant here in Mocha, leading by 6-0 against Pleasantville. We'll take a pause, and we come back with more.
We are here at Trinity College Ground in Mocha at halftime. East Mucurapo Secondary 6, Pleasantville Secondary 0. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Well, it all started early and often for East Mucurapo. That man Parks, of course, this is the second goal. The first for Parks, 1 out of 3, kisses the badge in celebration. And it was one-way traffic all the way through. Another nifty move by Jarvis, upended, eventually ended up in a penalty, tucked away quite tidily from East Mucurapo. And the resilience got less and less from Pleasantville. In some cases, non-existent. One ball over the top. Almost a finish there. Good goalkeeping by Clark, who certainly didn't hinder or damage his reputation throughout this. Another miss from East Mucurapo. A good save again by Clark. Comes out bravely tonight to deny Parks his second. Jarvis, always at the end of anything positive from East Mucurapo, sending Henry in. And of course Parks, the recipient of most of those crosses that come across the box, tucks it away for his second one. East Mucurapo on the rampage. Jarvis with a speculative shot, wide of Clark's goal. Again, midfield runner coming through. No defenders, easy as you like. And the finish. Of course, the designs to go with it. East Mucurapo enjoying the luxuries of time, space, and affordability to craft things as they like it. Poor defending again by Pleasantville. Ball trickled across the goal. Clark already committed. Parks with his third. Just wanted to remind each and every one of us that he's on a hat-trick.
The statistics, Brent.
And of course, the stats, as you would expect, Hans, all one-way traffic. 12 shots from East Mucurapo, 11 of those on target. I don't think I've ever seen in any game we've covered that close a margin in terms of shots on targets and, of course, shots taken. No cards in this game so far. It's all been one-way traffic. 73% possession from East Mucurapo, 22 by Pleasantville. They just have not been able to get their foot on the football, and when they away quite easily.
All right, well, Brent, let's talk about some of the good out of Pleasantville. What good do you see from the school? What good are you seeing from the team?
Well, I think Clark in goal has, of course, as I mentioned, has done himself a good job. He's been left, of course, without any defense in some situations. He's come out bravely. He's had to make some difficult saves.
Yeah, 5 successful saves.
And he was able to obviously minimize the goal scored. But that's about where it stops for Pleasantville. They've now have to find a way somehow to protect that goalkeeper Clark and obviously to stop the goals from coming in.
They had one near attempt in the 23rd minute. Keelan Williams, their number 10. Let's talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, and he's shown some nifty touches, of course, coming out to the middle of the park, trying to break lines and get forward. Always looking to try to make passes. It hasn't happened, as you rightfully said. He had one singletary situation where he could have probably done a little bit better in finishing, but again, it has been extremely poor from Pleasantville throughout, both on the offensive side, what little we've seen from them on that side of it, and of course, certainly on the defensive side, where I thought they have been extremely poor.
And as a player / coach, Brent, at the half, what do you tell Pleasantville secondary?
Well, I think a lot of it is down to individual errors. He set the team up the right way. We are seeing the population of red T-shirts in and around. But it's one thing to have T-shirts in and around, but if they're not doing their jobs, that's down to the individual. You have to execute. You have to track runners. You have to stand people up. You can't be beaten so easily. When you do those sorts of things, you're going to concede goals. And that's exactly what has transpired. They've not been able to do the right things defensively, individually, throughout the team, despite the fact that Coach Roberts would have set them up in the right way from a tactical standpoint. They have to improve in that department. The individuals have to take ownership hands if they want to stop this bleeding. Of course, going down for such a hefty margin at the half is always difficult for the team, but they have to get better individually. Maybe some changes in personnel may help their cause.
Well, so far they have conceded 58 goals for the entire season. Now, when we talk about Deshaun Alexander, the keeper for East Mucurapo, he actually said before this game began, they are here to score 10 goals today. So let's talk a little bit about East Mucurapo.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of confidence here. If you look at their last couple of results, it has been positive. They feel that this is a team that they can take advantage of. When you look at the way they started this football game, they scored within the first 5 minutes. And of course, since then, they have not taken their foot off of the gas pedal. They've been going forward, throwing numbers, of course, and they have a strong belief that they would win. That man there, he can be Nostradamus because he's heading towards 10, the goalkeeper, Alexander. But of course, they have to play a second half. Again, I'm very sure Coach Saunders would be suggesting to his troops that complacency cannot step in here because they have to continue with what they've shown in the first half.
Well, what are the keys to the second half, Brent? What can we really expect? How can the
I think from an East Mucurapo perspective, of course, continuing what they've been doing. They have been positive, they've been forceful in what they've been doing, and they have put Pleasantville under tremendous pressure. From a Pleasantville perspective, the individuals have to do better. They have to be able to take on their responsibilities. I think once they can close things up individually and get ownership of their errors, then they can start looking at possessing the football and then looking to get opportunities on goal.
Well, just to note, Pleasantville secondary, the girls team actually won the South Zone champions, 28-0 win over Palo Seco. So we see things happening in terms of certain things in their football program. When we come back, we bring you the second half of this matchup. East Mucurapo going up against Pleasantville. Current score 6-0 in favor of East Mucurapo.
forgiven for thinking that you're on a vacation in some remote tropical island. You're right here, Trinidad and Tobago, as Pleasantville Secondary take on East Mucurapo. Well, it's not been a vacation for Pleasantville. 6-0 the score. St. Andrews Golf Course is where we are. Mocha, Trinity, and of course, you can only capture that action on SportsMax. Speaking of which, go download our SportsMax app. It's available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, and you can capture all of the action, all the sporting action around the Caribbean. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, the SSFL, the Easter schoolboy action in Jamaica by downloading our SportsMax app. All the main cast members are back in your picture. For the boys in maroon, it's been a good day for him. Hasn't conceded. You'd hope to keep it that way. It's been quite the inverse for the boys from South Trinidad, Pleasantville Secondary. They found themselves staring down the barrel of a gun that keeps reloading. My name is James Saunders. Brent Sancho is alongside me. Well, hardest working man all day today. It's been a tough task for him. And Timothy Derry will signal that the second half action and all that it will present will be with us. So it's the boys in maroon, East Mucurapo Secondary. Get the ball rolling. Certainly be looking to add more to their collection. Pleasantville Secondary consolidation and stopping the hemorrhaging has been going on. And the first half will be first on the agenda. Oh, there's a halftime change, and King has come in, and he has replaced Mohammed. So that is the only real change. East Mucurapo. No changes from the Pleasantville end. Maybe the scoreline will be something they'll hope to change. Got numbers. Needed a better service though. Maybe a second chance to thump it in the area. Oh, here's Williams. It's too slow. Have to try again. Oh, that's easily picked off by East Mucurapo. And too straight. Easy in the end for Clark. Taylor, score of the game's first goal. Here's McShine. Has lots of company. Oh, that's clever footwork, but he's lost it. And the boys in red will try to come out of their own area unsuccessfully. There'll be a foul. Another opportunity for East Mucurapo to line one up. Just catching Atiba there. He's trying to squirm his way away. Oh, finding connection now, and this time it's East Mucurapo on the end of a naughty play. It's certainly been on the end, like myself, Brent, some heavy score lines. What do you think would have been said at halftime?
Well, it really is about, as you rightfully said, consolidation. There's that man there in the picture, Coach Roberts. He would certainly be telling his troops that we just can't concede any more goals. And it's really about damage limitation going into the second half. And saying that, here comes East Mucurapo again. But as I mentioned in the halftime, it really comes down to those individuals. We've seen so many times runners coming out from the middle of the park not being tracked. This man here, Jarvis, having his way and being able to mosey into the Pleasantville area unscathed most of the times. And Parks finding himself at the end of some really sloppy defending. the easiest of task of tapping things in. And no matter how you draw things up as a coach, whether you play a 3-5-2, 4-4-3, 5 at the back, if the individuals are not executing on this very basic principles of defending, then you're going to find yourself in problems. When I mean basic, standing a player up, not being beaten easy, tracking your runners, those are some of the basics I'm talking about. That's again, I was about to say good goalkeeping by Clark again, and he missed his lines.
Well, trying to find space, not allowed to get a shot away, maybe now. Just getting in his one player's way. Whoa, look at that. Nothing in the way of that. Not even Clark, he was stood up. And that's the 7th goal for East Mucurapo. And all plans go out of the window when you concede as easily as that.
Yeah, a lot of confusion at first, but no confusion in that. That was sweetly struck by Taylor. Clark always backpedaling, he's way too far across to his right side. Well, his left side, sorry. And allowed every single possible part of the net on his other side. And of course, he could never get across that quickly. It's a good strike though by Taylor. It was clean, well hit, and it found the back of the net.
Well, he can smile today. Certainly not losing coach Dale Saunders. Got some halftime scores. San Juan and Malik locked at 1. St. Anthony's College and Trinity. No goals scored in that match. No goals scored between Fatima and Bishops as well at halftime. Lots scored here though. 7 so far from East Mucurapo.
Yeah, well, you just wonder, James. Ooh, that's another chance there. Clark again just scrambling to get. Of course, CIC and Presentation College 0-all. This could be a bit calamitous.
Well, the door is opening here. Open sesame. He's done it. That is goal number 8. Cutting through them like a hot knife on butter. East Mucurapo. And wow, tell you what, the score line is, it's not running away, it's gone.
Well, again, by their own design, shooting themselves in the foot, Pleasantville. The easiest of tasks eventually rolls across to Taylor. That's his hat-trick. Quick fire, 2 goals by that man. And of course, when goalkeeper Alexander said they're going to score 10 goals today, I think we all watched him like he was a madman. My apologies, young man.
It's open season at the moment for East Mucurapo. Here's the latest player to score a hat-trick. Team scored their first hat-trick in this match with Parks, and now Taylor scored off the first goal, getting a hat-trick himself. 2 hat-tricks in 1 match. Scored 15 goals prior to this match. Well, shot up to 23 so far. Still counting. Just to give you some context, certainly scored more goals than 9 of the teams in the division so far. 14-team division. So they can't score goals. It's on the opposite end of things is where they struggle. Wow. Happy hunting. Fortune favors the brave. And Pleasantville are on the tin. Talk about a consolation. They've gotten it.
Looks like Keith Robinson with the strike. And they say you can't win the lottery unless you purchase a ticket And Robertson purchased that ticket. It was flicked on eventually. He had one thing in his mind. That was to strike and goal. And Alexander caught off his line. Had no chance. Got his fingertips hit. But he was always beaten by the flight of the... Consolation at best, James?
Certainly is. They'll take that any day. He has something to smile about on the team bus back to South Trinidad. Maybe there might be more for the boys in red. Certainly brimming with confidence now.
Well, all of a sudden now, James, they're first to the football, they're tackling, they're not being beaten easily. And if you're Coach Roberts, you're asking yourself, where was that all the time?
Well, they will have an opportunity now, it seems, from a set piece as East Mucurapo looks set to make some changes. Right though, perhaps one of their better spells of possession you just witnessed in the last few minutes. I'll tell you some more about some halftime scores after these changes. Clint Latchman is one of those players set to come in, and Kadeem Morrison will be the other to come in for East Mucurapo. Well, maybe a second. Well, that was a high boot, and it might get him penalized. Good time to tell you, though, that St. Benedict's College lead QRC 3-1 at halftime. Chaguanas North and Arima North secondary. No goals scored yet in that match.
You'd have to say, James, that St. Benedict's is the informed team right now in the league.
Yeah, certainly. They did start perhaps playing some of the tougher teams.
And they've been on an absolute tear of the league. They've taken down the likes of Naparima College live on our cameras. And of course, they've gone on to get some really good results.
Oh, that's clever. Wiggle their way out of danger. And Naparima fans, I'm sure, must be asking what's going on with their match. Currently locked at one apiece between them and Speyside. Oh, that's a foul, and it will give Pleasantville secondary another look at goal. Had a good look, very good look. The last foray forward resulted in their lone consolation item. Be advised to keep his eyes on the kicker. Jaheim Phillip will have his eyes anywhere to the left or right of that man. It's quite a distance, but he does seem up to the task as they try to sort themselves out. So that's a picture of focus. Has one mission on his mind. As a change will be made, and it's the hat-trick man Parks who will exit. And finally, Kadeem Morrison will have his day in the sunshine. Oh, here's Phillip. All eyes on him. Needed to be better. It's gone quiet since the Pleasantville team got their consolation. Game just losing a bit of zip from both sides.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the changes that have been made, substitutions which have, of course, had an impact in the fluidity of the game, and I think also Pleasantville, giving them credit. Here they go again. They've seem to have taken their foot off the pedal a bit.
We've just gotten some confirmation of the changes that were made. Of course, Parks among those who's had a premature end to his afternoon after scoring a hat-trick. Williams just drifting in an offside position this time. Well, might have a look here. Oh, just getting the touch to take it away from Atiba. Oh, McShine might have been nicked, and the flag is up, and doesn't matter that he got it in the net. Spoke about St. Benedict's College being the informed team. They're currently level on points at Naparima College on 23. A win today could put them to 26, which could be above San Juan North or level with San Juan North if they don't pick up a result. Of course, San Juan North and Naparima College, two teams both level with their teams at the moment. Potentially, St. Benedict's College can get to second place. Oh, still a long time to go, though. Certainly a long time for Pleasantville to defend as well as Mucurapo come again. And this time, Jarvis can only pick out the goalkeeper. Oh, no whistle. Play on, says Timothy Derry. Timothy Derry, of course, in charge of this one. His colleague, Cecile Hines, would have been a past pupil of Pleasantville Secondary. Oh, this is good. Needed a surer pass, though. Giving up possession. Oh, almost caught the keeper off guard there, but he was alert enough to correct his positioning. McShine, all alone in the middle. Looking for movement. Just find it, but not the best touch. Tiba gets it out wide to Henry. But he has ambition. Oh, the goalkeeper was good. And the substitute, well, had a chance to put his name in the headlights. He didn't.
Yeah, Clark there, extending himself and feeling the way from that stretch. A good strike there. coming in, Clark with the extension. And of course, the substitute, Kadeem Morrison, probably better served trying to use the inside of his foot to pass it into the net instead of instep and blasting it wide. That was a chance. And that man there would be disappointed because he made a promise to us that he was going to get to 10 goals. Kadeem Morrison is not helping that promise.
Not a welcome sign, though, to see Clark remaining down. Certainly won't want to lose him. Any chance of it, Brent?
Well, I just wonder if they are to make that change, what will happen. But it's good that he's back on his feet. Interesting to note, James. We did dub today the bottom dwellers against the uprisers at the top. And we'd have to say that the teams below are putting up a fight. Because for some of the scores that we just mentioned, it's quite even. Well, here comes Pleasantville.
It's good defending from Henry, Malachi Henry. And it's the other Henry that takes it to the other end of the field. Here's a Tiba. King. He's looking for Jarvis, but Clark is there. Quite brave as well. Well, might have hurt himself this time, yet again. To be fair to him, he's been pretty decent. He hasn't been helped though by his defenders.
I think he's been more than decent, James. He's been outstanding. When you look at the saves that he's made, and more importantly, how brave he's been in coming out and putting his body on the line, despite the fact that his defenders have certainly not done him justice. I think many who would have been in his position may not have wanted to do that, because certainly his teammates have left him out to dry for the most part. I hope on the way down to South Trinidad they do stop and get him a treat, a la his teammates. Because certainly where they have fallen short, he has been able to fill the void, as Coach Roberts still trying to impart knowledge to his players. Look at this for bravery, James. He comes out well, eyes on the ball, and falls very awkwardly. Nevertheless, brave goalkeeping.
Tiba. Mari King. McShine. Kadeem Allen. Certainly making useful connections. Mucurapo. King looking for movement. Just find Henry out wide. Well, look at this. Oh, look at that. It's a good stop. Kenny's been a nuisance of a barricade in goal. Clark. Certainly would want some repayment from his teammates, at least on the opposite end, as Kadeem Allen gets his hand in the way. Kadeem Morrison, for that matter. This is aimed at Williams, but the right leg is extended and prevents the danger. Oh, Williams gets a gift this time, and oh, there's a whistle. And not sure if that was that has robbed Pleasantville of an advantage. He certainly thinks so. King gets it away, and Kadeem Morrison has to chase. He's lost that physical battle as Clark gets involved. And Malachi Henry showing superior strength. Oh, certainly comfortable. Punks it out the back as Kadeem Morrison is the escape part. There's another substitute as well. Lutchman. Oh, Lutchman, space to run into. And that's a heavy challenge. And well, he's just saying to him that I got you, but I got you fairly. Brandon Parks.
I'm not sure what he's saying to Lutchman, but he was always late there, Philip. And then wagging the finger. I think that comes when you make a clean challenge, not when you make an illegal one. But nevertheless, Philip decided to send a message, illegal or not, I'm going to stop you. I'm very sure the referee there, he would have something to say about that. And that puts Philip into the cautionary book. And another challenge like that, and he may have an early shower.
5 yellow cards being issued for Pleasantville. As, well, Clark makes his 10th save, if you could really call it that. Oh, look at Williams go. He wants to make something happen, but not this time.
His head and shoulders been ahead of all of his outfield players. He certainly provides something going forward for Pleasantville. But 9 times out of 10, he finds himself cutting a lonely figure.
Oh,
he was offside, yeah.
This one just chewing. And, well, it's ironic that the confirmation of his entrance into the game shown when just chased offside. I think the players might be making their way to have a drink. 20 minutes remaining in this one, 19 to be exact. 8-1 in favor of East Mucurapo secondary against Pleasantville. And, well, it's just really been a tough match overall. And haven't really been able to stop East Mucurapo in the second half as one would have imagined.
Yeah, the goal scoring has not come as frequently as it did in the first half. But I will credit that to the changes that, of course, East Mucurapo would have made in personnel. And certainly, you could give Pleasantville a little bit of credit that they've been a little bit better individually in and around the park, where they have not been allowed themselves to be beaten easily. They've tracked runners a little bit better. And of course, Clark has continued with his heroics in goal. But I think moving forward, and I'm very sure Coach Saunders is going to suggest, as we see some of the stats from the first half, we look at the pass completion, which has improved for Pleasantville, James, 41%. East Mucurapo at 59%, and possession as well has improved for Pleasantville. It's gone up to 43%. And of course, East Mucurapo to 57%. So one would suggest it's been a better half for Pleasantville, but you have to take that with a grain of salt, sugar, and all other spices, because simply put, the East Mucurapo has made their changes in personnel.
You can also note that haven't really seen changes for Pleasantville. Perhaps give an indication of the depth of their squad. As we remind our viewers to download the SportsMax app for all of the exciting action of the Secondary Schools Football League and the ESA Schoolboy Football Competition. You can get it on Google Play or download it from the Apple App Store. SportsMax app, get it today. Oh, it's a free kick from quite a distance, and Kadira Tiba, oh, he's trusting his luck. Wow, didn't go very far off the target, did he? To show that he can strike it. Now the news in the match at St. Benedict's College against QRC is that they've moved ahead 4-1. Still level in most of the other contests. Fatima and Bishop still level. San Juan North Secondary still level against Malik, and Naparima College also still level. So all the teams above St. Benedict's College are level if scores remain as is. St. Benedict's can rise to second. Oh, the clock surely and slowly ticking down. So to the intensity of the match, which has dimmed it just a bit with the evening sunset. Oh, Williams has something to chase here. He was in an offside position. Is there more to this contest? That's King. Too far from a shine, but Lachman can try to win it back. Pleasantville throw. Touch is heavy. Will be East Mucurapo to toss it back into play. Tiba. Henry. Al-Khalifa Henry just losing possession. Jelani Roberts in a tangle here. Pleasantville keep it alive. To Robertson, who's found himself in a tangle, to be fair. But just managed to come out of that to Simon. And Williams, this time he remains onside as the flag stays down. He's all alone though, but he's gone past his man. Oh, look at that! Williams getting the second for Pleasantville secondary. And, well, they've just entered the chat group. And when you've got a gem like that, you expect quality from Williams.
Well, he did give us a preview of what he's capable of. I would suggest that 8 and 2 makes 10, but I won't. But look at Williams. Powers past his defender from the tightest of angle. Alexander doesn't cover himself in glory there, beaten. But Williams was always confident of getting that shot on target. No, he just got it on target. He got it into the back of the net. And he's put a glimmer of hope into this Pleasantville team. Certainly something to speak about heading back down to South Trinidad.
Well, certainly getting some positives from this match. Pleasantville secondary prior to this match, they only scored 7 goals in the competition. Oh, I believe with 9. Certainly something positive to reflect on. And Clark, good hands from him. Have produced some good goalkeepers in the past, Pleasantville secondary. Think of the likes of Mariba Baker. Certainly one of my idols growing up. And Williams could be in. Oh, that's 3. Pleasantville secondary. Look at the celebration. A cartwheel of delight from that man, Williams. And well, they're not back in the contest, but they're certainly giving their fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, designed and structured by poor defending from East Mucurapo. Look at Williams, always first, tucks it away from Alexander. He had hesitation written all over his face, and he paid for it, defender and him. That man, Alexander. Williams cashes in. His third. And a beautiful flip celebration to go with it. And of course, when you look at the goals against, James, then you see the story as it relates to East Mucurapo secondary. Of course, this now makes it 26 goals they've conceded in 12 football matches. And if you want to compete with the top, you can't concede that amount of goals, and they've done that today. It's almost been like a collapse of some sort in the second half. Time-wise, I don't think Pleasantville has enough to make this a comeback, but they'll certainly be buoyed going into the other fixtures with the goals that they've been able to score. And Williams is telling his defenders, you can't mark me.
Oh, look at that, man. Certainly will be a hero in San Fernando and environs later on today. Williams. Kellen Williams getting 2 goals, his first 2 goals of the competition, by the way. Certainly, it's looked the most dangerous customer for Pleasantville all afternoon. Well, King has just come on and will limp off, injured. Oh, they can smile now. They scored 3. Something in the team talk at halftime must have been working.
Well, one thing they have been able to get better at, James, is the individual execution. They've not been beaten easily. They've won their fair share of second balls. And more importantly, they've not made themselves easy to beat. We've seen on a couple of occasions, whether it be Jarvis or, of course, Taylor coming into the area. They've stood their ground. They've stood their man up and done well. Of course, confirmation of that substitute. King out and Edwards in. And they've been better in those areas. And I think because of that, they've been better in the game overall. And as you would have rightfully seen in the stats, even from a possession point of view, they've found a way to keep the football and become dangerous. Again, a lot of it aided and abetted by poor play from East Mucurapo. Yes, they were well executed goals from Pleasantville. A lot of it as well, James, would have been because of poor defending or the way they've, of course, set themselves up. I'm very sure Coach Saunders will not be a happy man, particularly with his defense.
Oh, who's to say that they won't be looking for more from this opportunity? Keith Robertson did score that spectacular goal. And this time they defended well. Goalkeeper holds on. Did sense a sigh of relief coming from the Mucurapo bench as that bounced in front of him.
Yeah, I think they need a bit of game management here now. Possess the ball, kill the game off, and of course make Pleasantville chase the football a bit. They're still trying to go forward in a hurry. And this is not necessarily what you want, because they're gifting away possession when you really need to just put your foot on the ball and keep possession of the ball a bit. Take this thing out of the game, because certainly the ascendancy has been Pleasantville, and they are, of course, looking to get themselves on the score sheet again. And here comes that man Williams again. How did he get first to that one?
Well, it might be first to everybody here. He's kept it well in a good area. That's 4. Yeah! What a second half we're witnessing from Pleasantville Secondary. And it's a second for that man, Keeve Robertson. A goal created by a man who scored 2 himself, Williams. And it's 8-4. They've cut the deficit in half.
Again, Williams outpacing all 3 men in maroon. Getting there first to the ball, unselfishly puts it across. And that's an easy as a goal you'd see for Adams. Good goal, good finish. And certainly, despite their poor defensive show in the first half, they have shown that they're very good at going forward, particularly through that man, Williams.
So 8-4. And correction was Adams who did get the second goal for Pleasantville. What a match. Everybody's up now. Nobody's asleep. Well, what have we just witnessed in the last few minutes? Where was that Pleasantville before?
Well, they look shell-shocked, East Mucurapo, and as I said, a lot of it is down to the several changes that has been made in terms of substitutions. It's stymied the flow, and you can't blame Coach Saunders because he's well up, and of course the game was already, or still is, in the bag at 8-0. And so he had to make, well, at 8-2, he had to make those necessary changes with the fixtures, around the fixtures coming up. And because of that, the fluidity that they would have had has certainly gone.
Still might be more. Certainly not a match by any means over just yet. Mucurapo have somewhat barren in this second half in terms of attacking threat. It's been the opposite for Pleasantville, at least in the last few minutes.
Well, they've scored 4 goals in a half. Certainly, going into halftime, we didn't see that coming.
Well, Fatima College has taken the lead against Bishop High.
And that could possibly be a decisive one.
Joshua Mason was the man getting the goal in the 74th minute. Second place team, San Juan North, still locked at 1 apiece with Malik. Just fallen off the pace somewhat in recent matches. We do have action in the Jamaica Easter schoolboy football. I'll tell you about that in a second because Williams is causing all sorts of trouble. Well, what a save that is. It's a good save and so easily could have been goal number 5 for Pleasantville. Oh, look at this. Just needed a surer touch. Maybe now. Oh, they're piling on pressure. Pleasantville could be in. Goalkeeper was first, but the flag was up. Where was this team all along? Pleasantville secondary. It's currently tied at Goalless in the Easter School Football League between Taki High and Cedric Titus High. 89 minutes gone in that fixture. 89th minute here as well. And, well, a match like this, I reckon it might be difficult to find the man of the match.
It would have to be between Parks and Taylor for East Mucurapo. Both men scoring a hat-trick in a winning cause. Of course, Williams have certainly set this contest alight with the way he's played in the second half. And I think the damage has already been done. And I would say Parks would be my man of the match, James. He was just everywhere in that box. That's a poor decision.
Well, flag is up.
Yeah, he's offside.
Thought for a second he might have been in for the hat-trick of the match.
It was the wrong decision because there was Adams on the other side who looked onside. And Williams went a bit too early. And certainly started to feel the impact of his second half exploits. I'm leaning towards Parks, James.
Don't think there are many might disagree with that. Certainly would have been in contention. Williams had the game been a lot closer. Confirmation of the 4 minutes of added on time, which we have just overlapped into. So in case you just joined us, seeing correctly, 12 goals scored in this match, 8-4. And, well, I tell you, it's certainly one of the most entertaining games that we've covered in terms of goals for either team. Speaking about entertainment, it's all about efficiency for the league's top team, Fatima College, who've just pulled 2 goals ahead of Bishop High. Michael Shaves getting the second item for Fatima College. St. Benedict's College, of course, also leading 4-1 against QRC. As it stands at the moment with San Juan North level, Naparima College level as well in their game. St. Benedict's College can potentially move to second if all results stay as is at the moment. Two and a half minutes remaining in this fixture. Pleasantville Secondary came into this match with 7 goals after 11 matches, and they leave with 4. It's 11 now after 12. Yes, Henry. McShine. Well, he ran into a Mack truck, but they keep it alive. He's got numbers in the middle. 2, 3 arriving. Could be 9. And, well, love to get in his mind to see exactly what he thought about when he missed that opportunity. It was a golden one.
Yeah, it was. And I just thought that Morrison got there on time. But I just couldn't understand why he was still stretching, because from a stride perspective, he strode straight into the ball, into his pathway, James, and it really just needed him to settle himself with the inside of the foot and place it either side of goalkeeper Clark. Instead, he decided to stretch. And it's certainly been a tale of two halves from an East Mucurapo perspective. And you'd have to say, James, their first half exploits would have obviously given them that opportunity.
Oh, St. Benedict's fans will have some good news. Naparima College currently down by 2-1 to Speyside Secondary. Certainly shows at least that St. Benedict's College can hold on to third place at the moment, though. If San Juan's result holds, they are currently locked at a goal apiece against Malik. St. Benedict's College will move into second after this.
And it may mean that Fatima is just a couple points away from winning this year's SSFL title. Of course, they have a massive game against Naparima College down in Lewis Street pending. Well, could be it.
We've seen this before. Yeah. Similar results to the first time we saw it. How about that for a goal? How about this for a match? 8-5.
Oh, look at that. Alexander wandering off his line and couldn't get back. Simon, the latest recipient of lobbing Alexander. And you just wonder for a minute there the type of errors. And I did talk about being complacent. It's a really disappointing half of football for East Mucurapo, because they are going to go on to win this football game. The question is, moving forward, how does that impact their psyche going into their next fixture? Because it's been poor.
Well, here's Atiba. McShine, heavy touch. And, well, he just ran into a body there, Morrison. Dancing feet. And Simon, the goal scorer, does the defending. Here's another goal scorer. Muscle out of possession. And surely now, time must be well expended in this one. Maybe chance for Williams. Team another goal. Oh, they're out of time. But what a second half fight back from Pleasantville secondary. Partly because of that man, Williams, scoring 2. And the architect of everything dangerous to Pleasantville secondary. In the end, it just wasn't enough though. As East Mucurapo, after all of the good work, let it slip at the end. But they've done enough to continue to advance. And they will walk away with 3 points. Well, Trinity Mocha, a beautiful venue, has given us a beautiful match, a beautiful spectacle. East Mucurapo secondary 8, Pleasantville secondary 5. Well, I'm certain that you, just like me, would like to look back and see how this match and things would have unfolded. It would have started here. Well, it scored earlier. Man and stabbing it past Clark in goal, and that was the second goal for Pleasantville secondary. Well, he can kiss the badge, would have enjoyed that. And then later this man, Jarvis, the foul, and Atiba getting the third item for Pleasantville. Jarvis at the heart of it, Henry doing all the good work on a platter, and that was goal number 4 for Mucurapo Park, getting his hat-trick. Here, look at that. And another goal for East Mucurapo. And then Jarvis, hear his name a lot in this broadcast, and Henry. And all the peanut butter jelly sandwiches, yet another goal. That's Park. The hat-trick for him, confirmation. Big scoreline, 5 at the half. And then that happened in the second half. Beautiful goal. And then another one, TJ Khaled, and it went to Jarvis. But Pleasantville, team of warriors, and they fought back. Look at that from distance. Oh, goodness me, the goal of the match perhaps. And that started to show Keith Robertson. And then Williams, a second. Second and a third for Pleasantville. Look at the celebration as well. Then Williams, a magician, and Adams with the tapper at the far post. Now they were enjoying it a lot because Simon tested fate and his luck from distance. Well, you decide which was the best, a strike from distance. Well, let's see what the numbers say. It's going to be interesting. And in terms of shots, East Mucurapo, 20, of which 18 were on target. Pleasantville, all of their shots on target. Scored 5 of their 7 shots. Certainly a rough and rugged contest. 9-10 in terms of fouls. Pleasantville goalkeeper, well, he's had a scoreline, exciting. Oh, you use your choice superlative. 8-5, the final score. So it's a good time to say goodbye to all of our viewers on CCN TV6 in Trinidad. And as the sun sets here in Mocha, it's time to send it down to Hans D.
Season and your hat trick today. How do you feel about your performance? How do you feel about the team's performance?
I feel very good about my performance. I've been training through pre-season very hard for this performance and come out on the field and show it today.
Well, it looks very difficult for you all to even get the Premiership Division title, but are your goals focused now on Intercall and in what way?
Yes.
You see, man of the match, Brent Sancho, is with another player that made an impact today.
Well, thank you very much, Hans. It's very unusual here at SportsMax that we do a second, of course, mention for man of the match. And young Keelan Williams with his second half exploits have certainly deserved the opportunity to speak to us here on camera. Keelan, of course, unfortunately,
when we come off and next half, well, coach talked to us and let us concentrate and pass the ball a little more, play to the wingers, and after we started to communicate more, second half, and well, when I was going to the goal,
goal where you started to take things into your own hands as a player. It just felt that if we had more time, you might have gotten back some of those goals. Tell us about that confidence. How do you take that confidence into your next fixture?
Well, for a few games and things, I always tell them I go in and take them on this day to be for
to produce in this half of football, a sparkling display by that young man. And I'm now joined by his coach, Coach Roberts. Of course, a disappointing defeat overall, a tale of two halves. Your assessment on the game?
Assessment on the game was, as my player just said, they take a little while to settle. And I just had to say hats off to them today.
Well, it was a good second half approach, and I'm very sure you would take this performance going into your rest of your fixtures.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Coach, and all the best to you.
Thanks.
Of course, Coach Roberts talking about the attributes necessary and needed for his team to dig their way out of
bit rest to the end of the match, and yeah, we conceded.
Yeah, I know. And of course, for you, it's about moving forward. Intercal coming up. Of course, scoring the goals that you did in the first half. You must be going into the Intercal. I'm sure that's your focus now.
Definitely, yeah. Every game now going forward is about,
Manny Ram John Stadium at St. Anthony's College. The Tigers go up against Presentation College. And in Easter Schoolboy football, we have more action as we bring you Glenmere High versus Morant. We expected. This is where we wrap it up on behalf of the entire SportsMax team. My name is Hans Devines. Thank you for viewing. We leave you with some moments from today's matchup.